And you are good to go. The rest of the time is yours. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining this Caregiver Lunch and Learn. I teach providers and caregivers the important information how to look after their loved ones or patients. Caring for someone with Alzheimer's can be rewarding, but also challenging. Today, we're going to talk about how to make everyday care like bathing, eating, and moving more comfortable and safer for your loved one. Most of these ideas come from my book, The Heart of Care, a caregiver's toolkit guide, which is a great resource written by yours truly, someone who understands the caregiver's daily challenges. When we conduct training, we often provide a disclaimer. No portion of this training may be replicated without prior written consent from Leona Care Academy. The content is provided for informational purposes only, and when appropriate, consult directly with a qualified professional for guidance and clarification. Before we get started, I want to introduce myself again. My name is Sharon Semien. I'm a registered nurse for 30 years and a former caregiver to my mother for over 15 years. Finding meaning in my caregiving journey, caring for my mother who lived to be 94. It was a transformative experience. It deepened my understanding of love, resilience, and caregiving. One of the most important lessons that I learned was the value of patience. As her needs changed, so did my approach. Caregiving went beyond physical tasks. It required emotional presence. It required patience, which allowed me to connect with her more deeply, offering both support and companionship. Listening was another essential skill. My mother often shared her thoughts and feelings, and by being fully present, I gave her the emotional support she needed. These moments strengthened our bond in unexpected ways. I discovered the strength in vulnerability. Feeling overwhelmed is natural. Accepting my emotions and seeking support from family or caregivers groups reminded me I wasn't alone. Who are we? Leona Care Academy is an educational and training organization. It is dedicated to building practical knowledge, awareness, preparedness, and care-based skills that strengthen individuals, families, and communities. The Academy, it focuses on equipping caregivers, households, and frontline support network with the tools they need to respond confidently to everyday tasks, emergencies, and crisis situations. Through a people-centered approach grounded in listening, education, and empowerment, Leona Care Academy supports safer care practices. It informs decision-making and skill development that promotes resilience and well-being across diverse communities. Our services and programs, Leona Care Academy is dedicated to supporting caregivers and healthcare workers through education and guidance. We offer hands-on workshops for healthcare professionals, at-home caregivers, along with individual coaching and consulting services. And coming soon, we will also provide healthcare services and courses on demand, making learning and more accessible anytime and anywhere. Before we get started, I would like to start with a reflection question. I want you to think about a time when you were caring for a patient or a loved one and you faced a challenging moment, such as a difficulty with eating, dressing, or cooperation. in the chat, share one word that helped you move through that situation. All right, think of something.
All right, Sharon. So some of the words you're getting are patient. A few people mentioned patience, prayer, breathe, grace, pause, stay calm, deep breathing.
Okay, those
Another
are
mention of prayer as well.
okay. Those are some great responses. And as we move through the presentation, and we're going to see that we will be using, talking about some of these approaches, which means that we focus on using a compassion, because that's what I see. We're doing compassion, a lot of compassion in our caregiving, with our caregivers and loved ones. Okay, great answers. Let's move forward. When I was caring for my 90-year-old mother, there were moments when I struggled with patience. I had to pause and reflect on how challenging it was for her to navigate the very task I was trying to support her with. So, during those moments, four words grounded me: care, compassion, advocacy, respect, and education. This framework became my guiding purpose, and it shaped how I supported her during that season of care. And this is what we will discuss today. Let's begin by sharing understanding of the Alzheimer's disease. And what I want you to focus on, you see the picture of the neurons and the synapse. This is a normal brain, and this is what's taking place in our brain. Okay? Alzheimer's disease is a progressive neurological condition that affects the brain, leading to a gradual decline in memory, thinking, behavior, and ability to perform everyday activities. It is the most common cause of dementia, and typically it develops slowly, worsen over time as the brain cells are damaged and communication between them is disrupted. As this condition progresses, the individual may experience memory loss. They may experience confusion, difficulty with language. They have changes in mood or personality, and increases dependence on caregivers like ourselves for daily care and decision makings. According to the Alzheimer's Association, dementia is a general term for loss of memory and other mental abilities, which is severe enough to interfere with daily life. It is caused by physical changes in the brain. Alzheimer's is the most common type of dementia, but there are many kinds. On the left, the brain that you're looking at, you see what a healthy brain looks like on the outside, and the synapses are firing rapidly, the way electricity moves in a healthy, normal body. And on the right, you notice a brain with dementia. And because the synapses are slowly weakening, it seems as if nothing are happening. With Alzheimer's disease, it changes the brain over time. People forget familiar faces, they become confused, or they even act differently. They might not remember how to bathe, or to eat, or to move safely. As caregivers, our job is to meet them with patience and kindness. I say it again, it's so important that we meet them with patience and kindness, not with correction or frustration, because every calm word and gentle touch helps them feel safe. Now, let's shift our focus to patient care, specifically the essential aspects of caregiving related to activities of daily living, which often referred to as ADLs. This section would explore how Alzheimer's disease can affect a person's ability to complete everyday tasks such as eating, dressing, bathing, mobility, and personal hygiene. We will discuss practical strategies to support these activities with compassion, patience, and dignity, while promoting safety, independence where possible, and overall quality of life for both the individual receiving the care and the caregiver. ADL stands for Activities of Daily Living. These are the basic things that we all do every day to take care of ourselves. ADLs are activities such as bathing, grooming, eating, and transferring. For someone living with Alzheimer's, these tasks can become difficult or confusing. Establish a consent, establish a consistency routine. It helps the dementia patient become familiar with transfer and other daily activities. It reduces anxiety, it reduces confusion, it helps them to adjust to the caregiving process. So, helping with these activities isn't just about keeping them clean or fed. Remember, it's about showing love and respect in every moment. As you see in the picture, you see that the caregiver is giving a bath. You see another caregiver is shaving. And then you see with eating, how the caregiver is assisting with eating and giving a meal, and then with transferring. While performing your caretaking duties, you should keep in mind the care framework. In my book, I define care stands for compassion, advocacy, respect, and educate. Declining health can lead to feelings of weariness or loss of motivation to continue living. Your joy, your encouragement, remember, your joy and your encouragement is essential in sustaining your loved ones or your patients' emotional well-being. These practices help ensure that your patient or your loved one continue to feel cherished and supportive than rather than feeling like they're a burden. Because after a while, as time passes, they start to feel like they're a burden. They may verbalize it. They may say, I feel like I'm a burden. Or they may just be quiet, looking off in a distance, or just become quiet. And those are the times when you see them do that. Just talk to them and say, what are you feeling? What are you thinking? Just engage with them. Always make them feel that they're special and important. And advocacy is one of your greatest tools in helping your loved one receive the best possible care. And it is so important. You may be an advocate when someone else is coming in to provide care for your loved one, or you may be the advocate person when they go to the doctor, hospitals, because you're their voice. Respect guides your actions. It creates space where both you and your patient or loved one can feel seen, heard, and valued. Remember, caregiving is a journey that constantly evolves, and so should your knowledge. Continue to seek out information, ask questions. Staying curious is key to providing the best care possible for your patient or for your loved one. Daily care is more than completing a task. It's about love and action. Little moments like listening to music together, sharing stories, help your patient or loved one feel connected. Keeping routines the same, it helps reduce confusion. In my book, I remind caregivers your well being fuels your ability to care. Make time to rest, make time to eat, and recharge because you can't pour from an empty cup. Your health matters too. I want you to remember and think about your body sends you signals just like your cell phone. You know, your cell phone the batteries start to die down. And it sends you signals like charge me, charge me, charge me. And then all of a sudden you see that cell phone is in red. And then you're trying to find means of helping and recharge it. And that's how your body communicates with you when it's time to fuel up again, time to recharge. So remember, it's important for you to rest. It's important for you to eat so you can pour out better for your patients or your loved ones. Okay? All right. So we have a reflection question. What does CARE stand for? The acronym CARE. A, calm, awareness, routine, empathy. B, care, action, routine, empathy. C, comfort, assist, reassurance, encourage. D, compassion, advocacy, respect, educate. Put your answer of your choice in the chat.
Hey, Sharon. So far, all of your answers in the chat are choosing letter D.
Okay, so let's see. The answer is D. CARE stands for compassion, advocacy, respect, and educate. Great job. Okay, now we're going to go to bathing, safety, and comfort. Bathing can be stressful for someone with Alzheimer's because they may feel cold, confused, or exposed. In my experience, I suggest setting up everything first: towels, soap, clean clothes, and cover them with a towel or bath blanket for warmth and dignity. Engage them in their desires of independence. If your patient or loved one wish to help, please allow them to do so. As you see in the picture, there's the towels and everything they need, beautiful bath, and all the suds for comfort. During bathing, you can use music, and warmth can significantly enhance comfort. Creating a soothing environment, this relaxes the patient. It eases the process for both you and the individual. Maintaining a comfortable water temperature is very essential for reducing discomfort and ensuring a more enjoyable bathing experience for you, the patient, and the loved one. When I gave my mother her spa day in a portable bathtub because she was bedbound, I would wash her during the bathe. I would wash her hair. I would wash each portion of her body. I would exercise her limbs, massage, and apply lotion. This was very comforting and soothing to her. And the reason why it's called, when I did it for her, spa day, it was, it just made it more special. So when you, like in the picture, the slide, you can say, turn on you some music and say, we're going to have a spa day. Instead of saying, it's a bath time. Your loved one may smile and feel calmer right away. You're going to encourage them to wash their face, arms, if they can. You're going to always explain what you're doing. You're not going to rush. You're going to move slowly. You're going to keep the conversation light, positive. You're going to end with, you did a great job. You always want to praise them no matter what you're doing. Question, reflection question. Why is it important to cover your loved one with a towel during bathing? A, you're going to save laundry. You're going to help keep them warm and maintain privacy. B, C, you're going to remind them of the next step. And D, you're going to soap up all that soap that you put on.
So far, Sharon, all B's in the chat.
Great job. You did a good job. Yes, we're going to help them to keep warm and maintain privacy. Now we're going to discuss grooming for independence. Always remember, grooming isn't just about hygiene. It's about helping your patient or loved one feel good about themselves. A comb hairstyle, a clean face can lift spirits and self-esteem. Keeping their nails trimmed and well kept, it keeps your patient or loved one from scratching his or herself, and their nails will be easy to maintain. While grooming, you want to encourage independence by allowing the patient to choose their clothing, which fosters a sense of control and dignity. Just remember, you're empowering them in their daily routine while supporting their self-esteem. Remember, you want to empower them and you're supporting their self-esteem. You're providing options for hairstyling and shaving. This empowers the patients or loved ones. You're encouraging them to engage in their daily grooming routines. This is so important because you want to always empower them. You're going to always support them in their self-esteem. And as you continue to give your loved one or your patient care, this is what you always want to keep in mind, that you want to keep them with this. This is so important. I learned this as the process continued with caring for my mother because there were some times when she said she felt like she didn't want to be a burden to someone. And I always let her know that she wasn't. And we always tried to continue to empower her with that independence whenever we could. And I always remember when combing or brushing your patient or your loved one's hair each day, or you can provide photos of possible hairstyles. You can ask them how they like their hair comb. This allows them to feel independent and be self-assured. When using these tools, always be gentle. You're going to always thank them for letting you help. Small acts of grooming can bring comfort and confidence. I would always allow my mother to participate in choosing her own clothes. She would always choose bright pastel colors. This gave her a sense of self-control and comfort. Reflection question. When helping a loved one bathe, what should you do first? You're going to tell them to get undressed immediately? A. B. Are you going to turn on loud music for distraction? C. Prepare the room, gather supplies, and make sure it's warm. Or D. You're going to leave the door open for fresh air. Put in the chat the answer you chose.
All right, Sharon, so far you have all C's coming in the chat.
That is awesome. That's correct. We are going to prepare the room. We're going to gather our supplies and we're going to make sure that the room is warm. Great job. For eating family style meals, you're going to serve the meals family style. Why? Because it promotes interaction and independence. This allows the patient or loved one to engage socially, which can improve their likelihood to eat and enjoy their dining experience. In my book, I state, mealtime is more than feeding. It is an opportunity to nourish the body. For many older adults and individuals receiving care, meals are one of the few routines they can look forward to each day. That is why it is so important to make every meal feel intentional and not institutional. Be sure the meals are visually appealing, like you see in the picture. They're colorful, make you want to eat. Sharing a meal can significantly enhance the likelihood that the patients will eat and enjoy their food. A family style meal allows patients or loved ones to maintain independence by serving themselves and choosing what they want to eat. Serving meals family style, you letting that patient or loved one choose food from small bowls, which can help them stay involved and improve their appetite. Sit with your loved one or your patient, talk softly, make the area peaceful by avoid rushing them. You're going to allow them extra time for them to eat at their own pace. And you can also set your lunchtime around their lunchtime and eat with them. Question: which caregiving approach best supports independence and enjoyment during mealtime for your individual receiving care? A. Serving meals quickly to limit distraction. B. Providing pre-plated meals in a quiet setting. C. You're going to serve meals family style to encourage interaction and choice. And D. Limited mealtime routines to reduce stimulation.
So far,
Okay,
Sharon, all C's.
congratulations. Let's see what the answer is. Correct. The answer is serving meals family style to encourage interaction and choice. Okay, great job. Now we're going to discuss transferring with confidence. In transferring, mobility aids are a critical role in maintaining independence, safety, and dignity for individuals who has limited movement, whether it's due to aging, whether it's due to injury, illness, or disability. Many people rely on assistive devices to move more comfortably and confidently through their daily lives. Mobility aids are devices such as you see in the picture, wheelchairs, Hoyer lifts, and walkers. Using aids or transferring, you're going to talk through each step calmly. You will never rush. You're going to always make sure that their feet are flat and comfortable. You're going to always make sure they have very good supported shoes. Providing clear verbal explanation, this is going to help build the patient's confidence during transfer. This ensures they understand the process and that they feel secure. You want to maintain a calm demeanor, reduces patient anxiety. This will provide a safe and reassuring environment. This helps the patient adjust more easily and feel more trusting. Okay? Now, one thing I want you to remember, and I'll give you an example, is when my mother transferred her using that Hoyer lift, what I did was, see with the wheelchair, I took the back part of I would put her in from the back part. I would take that Hoyer lift and I would go open the legs wide, put it around the back part of the wheelchair. I raised her up higher enough above the back portion of the wheelchair. So then I had control. I made sure the wheels was locked. I would make sure that the base of the Hoyer lift was locked. And then I would take both hands of the pad of the and lower her down into the wheelchair. And as stated in the slide, what you're going to do first is you're going to lift someone from the bed to chair. And first, what you're going to do is you're going to slide that pad under their back and shoulders. You're going to hook those straps securely before lifting. You're going to move slowly and tell them, we're going up now. When lowering them into the chair, you're going to keep one hand guiding the back and the other controlling the lift. And then also you may consider if this is the patient or loved one first time being transferred with the Hoyer lift, you may try before you even pull the lift from the bed or the chair, you may just go take the patient up and down slowly while they're still over the chair so they feel comfortable and have no anxiety. And this worked too. I had a patient that she had a lot of anxiety by being using the Hoyer lift and this by doing this technique. It worked. And once we finally completed the transfer, oh, she said, well, that's not bad at all. So you can try this and see if it works for you. And now we're going to have another reflection question. What is one rule for safely using a Hoyer lift when transferring a loved one? A, talk calmly and explain each step. B, move quickly to finish the task. C, keep the left legs closed for balance. D, pull the person up by hand before even using the Hoyer lift. All right, which one do you think the answer is?
All right, Sharon, so far all A's in the chat.
Congratulations, everybody. Let's see what it says. A, talk calmly and explain each step. That is exactly what we want to do. What we're going to do next, I'm going to share with you empowering the next generation of caregivers. Compassion became my guiding force while caring for my mother, whether in moments of frustration or joy. Leading with compassion, it helped me respond with grace and understanding, not just toward my mother, but also toward myself. I learned to cherish the small moments, sharing meals, taking walks, or sitting in silence. Those everyday interactions became some of my most treasured memories. I finally realized the importance of self-care. To care for her fully, I had to care for myself. Taking a time for rest and reflection, it helped me to show up with love she deserved. This journey was profound. Each lesson shaped my personal growth. I'm deeply grateful for the time we share. So, as you continue your caregiving journey, do so with the utmost compassion and cherish every moment you have with your loved one or your patient. Caregiving, caregivers and individuals with Alzheimer's disease, you do not have to navigate this journey alone. There are several trusted national organizations that provide education, guidance, and ongoing support. The Alzheimer's Association offers comprehensive resources for families and caregivers, including care strategies, educational materials, local support groups, and definitely a 24-hour helpline that provides immediate assistance and guidance. And for those who are seeking federally supported information, the Alzheimer's.gov service is served as a hub in connecting caregivers to reliable information on living with dementia, care and planning, available services, and current research opportunities. This platform is especially helpful for families looking for evidence-based guidance and government support programs. Another valuable resource is the Alzheimer's Foundation of America. This focuses on caregiver education, emotional support. The organization provides access to licensed social workers through a toll-free helpline. It has a weekly support group. It has educational webinars that addresses common caregiver challenges. The National Institute on Aging, it offers a robust caregiving toolkit. It includes articles, videos, printable materials. It's designed to help caregivers understand Alzheimer's disease, It improves the daily care and practices. These resources are grounded in research and widely used in clinical and community educational settings. And finally, the Caregiving Action Network. It supports families and caregivers by providing practical tools such as checklists, peer support, material focused on caregiving well-being, problem solving. It navigates emotional and logistic demands of long-term care. Together, these resources, they offer a strong foundation of support, education, and connection for caregivers and those affected by the Alzheimer's disease. Since the beginning, this caregiving journey, I have authored 3 books rooted in my personal caregiving experience, shown here. My most recent book is The Heart of Care, highlights practical, real-world examples similar to those we discussed today. All those that you see are available on Amazon. Be sure to stay in touch with us. You can scan the QR code to join us. We're getting ready to launch a virtual caregiver training platform, and that will elaborate on many of the topics discussed today. We will also be releasing our daily devotion. So join us today and stay in touch. I would like to thank you for taking the time to learn and grow as caregivers. Remember, every act of care, from brushing hair to helping with meals, it shows love and respect. You always remember you are making a difference in someone's life every day. So, how about let's take a few minutes for questions and share what works for you in your caregiving journey.
Thank you so much, Sharon. That was a absolutely fantastic presentation. I feel calmer just listening to you. So thank you so much for providing that education to us and just helping everybody to feel really motivated and really supported along this journey. So great job. If anybody has any questions for Sharon, go ahead and put them in the chat and I will happily read them off to her. I do have a couple here, Sharon. So I have a question that says, I like how you mentioned making patients or people living with dementia feel seen. From your experience, how are some ways you can make others feel seen?
What, from my experience in taking care of my mother, I always made my time to listen to her. You can start, there were times at the beginning she was very able to talk. And then as the process continued, she became quiet. She didn't speak as much. She would just, sometimes she just look. And so sometimes I would just sit there and just rub her hand and just talk to her and let her know that she was still special. Try to ask her what she needed. Just make her, the most important thing is make them feel special. If you make them feel special, if they can, they will still engage with you, either verbally or non-verbally. So pay attention to those non-verbal signals because you're still going to make them feel special that way and seen.
Thank you so much. I have another question for you that says, how can you make bathing more comfortable for people that are maybe scared to lose their dignity?
Take my time in each step that you do. And what I would do, I give you an example. When my mother would go into the hospital, and there was a time when they're shorthanded in there. And so what they would do is they would just strip her off all the cover, strip off all her clothes, and I would just explain to them, you want them to keep their dignity. So don't take all their clothes off. Take, cover them up, take one extremity off at a time, wash the arms, one arm at a time, wash their face, and uncover each part, each steps. Just the way you would want to be treated, that's how you're going to do them. And so this is how you're going to keep that dignity. You're not going to rush through it. You're going to explain to them what you're doing. If it's the opposite sex, if they can participate in it, allow them to do it. If they can't participate in it, you still allow them by uncovering one portion at a time and explain to them what you're doing. And if you continue to explain what you're doing, you are keeping their dignity. This is what I found. And once I explained to the aides in the hospital providing bath, I just shared with them to remember to do it with all their patients. Don't rush through it. Make them feel special. And I had them come, they would come back and say thank you. That is so important.
Thank you, Sharon. A couple more questions that have come in the chat. Someone mentioned, I know we should avoid correction. So, what is the best way to handle a person with dementia who is chewing her pills instead of swallowing them? We crush all the ones that we can, but some are not crushable. What would you recommend in that situation?
You can, if they stick and swallow real good, give them a drink that they really enjoy. Um, if they can put the pill in the mouth, or you can put the pill in the mouth, you can put it. This is what I did with mom. Because sometimes the pills weren't able for me to crush, as you said, put that pill right in the center of that tongue. You can try to push it as far back as you can um, into the mouth and give the water real quickly. This is what I did. Because if you push it real further back in the tongue, not on the top, not at the tip, but in the back of the mouth, and pick up that water or juice wherever they like, and you can get them to swallow it because then it's going to glide down. And you might come practice with yourself because I did. I was like, okay, what's going to work? And then you want to check and make sure that it didn't go into the pocket, into the drawer. You can see if that worked. But the whole key is if you can get them to drink a large portion of the liquid that you're giving them.
Thank you, Sharon. Let's see. We have some more things coming up in the chat. Someone did share some feedback that says, my 93-year-old mother is quiet and I give her choices of food for dinner, and this seems to help her. Someone said, thanks for such a wonderful and compassionate presentation. Did you honor your mother by naming your establishment in her memory?
I did. Um, she was so special, and I learned so much during the process. It was a learning process. Even though I'm a nurse, you have to shift from being professional to being a caregiver, a family member. And when you shift from being a professional person, you will actually see and remember to see that person for who they are. Because as a professional, sometimes we are focused on tasks and we want to shift. And remember that person, this person was a doctor, that person was a nurse, that person was a mother. And when you see them for who they are, you can give the very best care. And then you're going to be able to remember them. Those memories become so special. And then you're able to give it to other people, and I find myself sharing it with people when I'm out in the stores. It's just that if it's something you do, it's a natural thing. And you just automatic. I was in the airport in December and I saw someone pushing their loved one in a wheelchair, but you can read their face. I could see the struggle. I can see the frustration. I could see the love. And I just gradually approached her and shared some nuggets with her. And she just gave me a hug because she said, thank you. I just needed that information. So keep your ears open, keep your eyes open, and God's going to guide you to someone who's going to, what you're doing to give it to somebody else.
Thank you, Sharon. Beautiful advice. Couple more questions for you. How do you maintain patience when maybe caring for someone who is combative and verbally abusive? Is the question in the chat.
I suggest take a moment, step back. If you got to leave the room, if it's safe, and take a deep breath. If you believe in God, you can pray, ask for peace over that loved one or that patient, and you're going to tell them what you're doing step by step. You're not going to rush them. You can, if they allow you, you can touch their hands and rub the top of the hand and say, "This is what we're going to do. This is for your safety." Or if you're trying to get them to eat, um, you can ask them, what do you like? This is what we're eating. It this, different, just try to find different little things to reassure them that it's for their safety. It's for their best interest. But you're not going to say, remain calm. You're not going to be forceful. You're not going to be aggressive with them. Because if you're that way with them, even though they're that way, you got to shift because they're already confused. They already, remember, their brain, the synapse and the neurons are not working like our brain is. So there's a decrease. There's a decrease in the connection. And always remember that they can confuse. So, okay, they're confused, just shift. Their neurons and synapse are not working the way they should. And if they allow you to touch them, rub their hand, the back of their hand to soothe them, and see if that would help. I hope I answer your question.
Thank you, Sharon. Another question in the chat is looking for advice from you, just like your thoughts or recommendations for someone that maybe their loved one with dementia sleeps a lot. Is that something, like, what's your advice on that? Or you think that's something that is okay, like to let them continue, or should we change up the routine? What's your thoughts?
My thoughts, which from sharing my experience, the sitter will say, your mom slept all day. And when the first one said that to me, because I know that when I'm at home with her, I try to keep her involved. And so if they're sleeping, you can try changing the routine. Whatever it takes to get them awake. Don't let them sleep all day. If you can take them outside, take them outside. Enjoy the sunshine. What I used to do, I used to put mama in the Harrier lift, use the Harrier lift. I had a special chair that I had made for her, besides the wheelchair, because it was more easy for me to push. And we would just roll outside. And then we lived on a private street. I would roll her, and it was family lived down the street. So I would roll her down the street so she can see the environment, see her family member homes. And sometimes we get lucky and someone would be coming down the driveway. And so she got to talk to them, um, play some music, try to talk to them and ask them, get them to start talking to you and asking them about their life. Um, if you can do that, you're trying to keep them engaged. So the most important thing to answer the question is no, do not let them sleep all day.
Thank you, Sharon. We have lots of really wonderful feedback for you in the chat. People are just so appreciative of all the advice you're giving. Got one more. So someone mentioned that their mom is calling people in the middle of the night, but they don't want to take her phone away. Any advice on that?
You know what? You might want to find a nice way to ask a question. You want to find out why she's calling. Is she feeling afraid? This is a time that she's starting to feel confused and she got her days and her night shifted. So the question is, what does she do during the day? Is she calling you during the day? or she has someone there during the day and she is it keeping her occupied. You can try once you ask that question because you want to find out why she's calling. Fear, anxiety. Did she feel an anxiety during the nighttime? So if she's feeling some anxiety during the night, try playing some music for her. You know, on the TV now, they have those videos that you can just play. I used to play them for my mom at night. My mom was a Christian, and so I would play the Christian videos, and it's just soothing, real soothing. Nothing loud. It's just, and it was low, but she slept all night. She's in a facility. She's not with us. And she wakes up and doesn't know where she is. Okay, what I would do is ask someone in the facility, can they go in and just check on her? Spend more time with her if they can. If you can have pictures of yourselves. You know, they have the little thing with your pictures that you can play continuously and she can see your faces all the time. This might help.
Thank you, Sharon.
Oh, I see something. Someone says she sleeps all day and she wakes all night. You're going to have to shift it. Shift it. You got to get her involved, get her active. Find something that I used to have the colors, the coloring pages, the coloring books, those puzzle books where you had to find the words. She loved that. Find something that she likes and try to get her involved with it. Okay, she's been here 4 to 5 months. Um, Go there if you can, because this is still means you being her advocate now. So you're going to go there, you're going to find out what is going on, you're going to ask questions, and then you know what she likes. Or maybe her likes have shifted, and you can ask her, what do you like, Mom? What are some things that we can bring in that you can do? And then you can ask them, and I understand that sometimes they have so many patients to take care of, they may not have time to give her that individual care. So just try to find something to keep her busy during the day, hands on, that you can give her, that you can leave with her, and see if that works. If you can get the primary goal is if you can keep her awake during the day, then she will sleep all night. And then you also, I'm not sure if she's not allergic to anything, you can try you know, the eucalyptus. I used to, the ones that automatically spray in the room. You can try those because it's soothing. You know, they say lavender. I use lavender. You can have that lavender pillow for her. Um, just those are some techniques that I could recommend because those are the ones that I use for my mom. But I didn't have a problem with her falling asleep. She would just fall asleep. But I just did those things automatically because I wanted, because their eyes are closed. She would close her eyes. So you think she would say, I'm not sleeping. My eyes just closed. I said, okay. So that was good to know because you don't want her to just have her eyes closed and not really sleeping. So those are the things I would use. And you can try those and see if it works. You can always respond back to me and let me know if it's working or not. I appreciate it. And then we can um, talk through other ideas. I enjoy
Thank you,
it.
Sharon.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And somebody else shared another tip to like accompany your tips that said for their loved one, we read together. Even though he no longer can read long words, I try to find books with relevant pictures. So, like another good soothing tip as well.
Great. And if you go to the library, they have those in the children's section, they have the age group books for the kids. So what you could do is they have short sentences as well in those books. It's called the 1, 2, 3 has the grades 1, 2, and 3. So you can go into that section, tell them what you're looking for, and they can guide you to get those books for your loved one. And that's great that you still read to them.
Thank you, Sharon. That is all the questions we had in the chat. I saved all the comments for you, so I will share them with you. You are a wonderful wealth of knowledge. So thank you so much for taking time out of your day to share your expertise with us today. And your compassion and the love that you have for your mom truly shines through in the work that you do. So thank you so much for all that you do for us today.
Thank you, and I enjoy so much sharing this information, and I hope that you can use it throughout your caregiving process. And don't feel shy. If you need help and assistance, I'll be glad to help you with it.
Thank you. And I will share those links that you shared too, Sharon. I'll share that in the follow-up email as well. So if anybody has additional questions, they'll be able to reach out to.
Thank you, Miss Ellen.
Absolutely. Thank you so much to everyone that joined us today. And again, thank you, Sharon. Hope everybody has a good rest of their day.
You're welcome. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.